Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Gridiron Network Podcast. Today, Harry and I are going to be taking a look at every single team in the NFL, and we're going to be addressing their three biggest needs as we head into the NFL draft. Harry, how are we feeling today?
Man, been a sad weekend for the Colts fans. Fortunately, if you didn't know, T.Y. Hilton announced his retirement from the NFL yesterday. So, a very, very sad day. Wasn't expecting it. I really thought he was going to come back this year. Would have been great for our team. We need a wide receiver. And Chris Ballard is out here signing tight end, or what does he want? He wants this guy to play a tight end, but he was a forward on Notre Dame, their basketball team. So we're signing.
Sucks.
And we're signing them. So we're signing undrafted guys that played basketball. T.Y. Hilton retired yesterday, so it's been pretty terrible. So,
Hey, it's only up from here because we got some great content. We got some mock draft Mondays starting this Monday too, separate from the podcast. We're gonna be doing probably a weekly mock draft as we ramp up for the NFL draft here. And real quick, as always, this podcast is brought to you by Poggers, in which you can use code TGN for 10% off all items for all your hydration and energy drink needs. But Harry, let's get right into these here. So we're gonna start off with the NFC here. So, kicking things off with the NFC North. So we got the three biggest needs for every team in the NFC North. I'm going to start off with the Bears. I've got the defensive line, all aspects of the D-line, safeties, and a center, especially after the Drew Dahlman retirement. With the Lions, I've got an offensive tackle, depending where Penei Sewell wants to go. It could be a left or a right tackle. They need an edge rusher opposite of Aiden Hutchinson, and they need more help in the cornerback room. Vikings, they need defensive line, they need a center, and they need a safety. And then the Green Bay Packers, they need D-line help, even though they just got rid of Sean Gary, so they could probably use a little help on the edge rushers there. That cornerback room is still not good after a lot of investment on their part over the last however many years. They just can't get it right. And then their interior offensive line. So now we're going to go through, we're going to kind of break the teams down one by one. Starting off with my Chicago Bears here. I have all aspects of the defensive line written down. I was going to just say like D-tackle primarily, but man, we still need edge rusher help. Like Montez Sweat's a great number 2. I think Austin Booker could be a number 1 one day, but not yet. I think we should still continue to develop him because I think he has the tools. He's only 23 years old. He showed a lot of promise towards the back half of last season. But I don't think he's ready to be the starter yet. I think he's going to be a good rotational piece.
Yeah. No, I mean, I feel like every time we've done these mock drafts with your Bears, it has been addressing somewhere on that defensive line.
Yeah, and the other area that I would like to address in the draft, maybe even the first round, is safety. Because while we have Kobe Bryant, we lost Byard, we lost Brisker, so we need to address safety. We don't have to do it in the first round, but I would like to see us, depending what's their D-tackle wise, to do it early, whether that is our first or second rounder. I think D-tackle and safety needs to be our first 2 picks of the draft. And then center, I know we got Bradbury, who he could be a good step in for this year. I don't think he's the long-term answer there. So I think maybe in the third round, maybe with one of our 2 second rounders, maybe we grab a center who can either sit behind Bradbury and play next year, or maybe he beats out Bradbury and he's ready to go right away. But I think those are the 3 that really need to be addressed for the Bears of the highest priority. Obviously, we could use in the late rounds some running backs, maybe another receiver to be wide receiver 3 for us. But I like Jade Walker. I think he is our wide receiver 3, and we'll have a breakout year. But yeah, I think there's some good areas here. And then we get on to the Lions. So
real quick, I got one question about your team. Real quick. Do you think you take a wide receiver at any point in this draft?
So if we do, I think it'll be very late, like a 6th or 7th rounder. Because I like Jade Walker. I really, really like Jade Walker, and I think he showed up when asked last year. And because of that,
I was going to say, did he touchdown in the playoffs, right? Do I remember something like
playoffs.
That? Yeah.
First touchdown against the Packers as well. But
let's go.
I think he deserves a shot to prove himself, because whenever we asked him to last year, he proved himself. So I think he deserves that shot to be wide receiver 3. So maybe if we don't draft a guy in the 6th or 7th round, I think we maybe grab a veteran, some guy who could step in, kind of rotate with Jade Walker. Yeah.
Not bad.
And then the Lions here. So I listed offensive tackle. In parentheses, I have left tackle, but Penei Sewell is really talented enough to play either left tackle or right tackle. So depending on what's there on the board for the Lions will determine which side they go for protection, because Penei Sewell can really alternate to either side. But the Taylor Decker, was it retirement or was it release?
Ooh.
I think he just got released.
Yeah, I think it was just released.
Let's see, Taylor Decker. Yes, yeah, he was just released, or he asked for his release, one of the two.
Yeah.
So they desperately need to fill that. I think this is by far and away their number one priority, because obviously you need help on the other side of Hutchinson, and then that corner room. I'm still I like Terrion Arnold. I like their safeties. Their safeties are fantastic. Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch, if Brian Branch could stay healthy, but I don't like what else is in that corner room. And I think this is a very good corner loaded draft. You're going to see a lot of quality guys in the 2nd, the 3rd, maybe even the 4th round, without taking big risks like you would in the 5th, the 5th or the 6th round.
Yeah.
So I think they desperately need to target corner here in the draft.
Man, I feel like the Lions could go so many different ways this year. What pick do they have? Do you remember off these mocks that we've been doing? What pick they have?
You would think by now that we
Dude,
would know.
I can't. I was trying to remember, but I cannot remember.
Pick 17. I knew it was the late teens. So pick 17. I personally have them taking an edge rusher in the 1st round.
That's what I was just gonna go with. Is just this draft class is just so deep with edge rushers that I think they can still get a good one at their pick there.
Very, very good one. Or maybe they wait for a guy in the 2nd or 3rd round, like, if he falls, Zion Young from Mizzou. I think he's a good project defensive end for them. And then we get on to the Minnesota Vikings here. So Vikings, I have D-line, which I think is a big need because, they really need help there outside of Dallas Turner. Center, Ryan Kelly retired. Kind of, I don't know if it caught them off guard. It caught me off guard. So I think they need center, and then releasing Harrison Smith. They obviously have plans to get a safety. These 3 aren't in order like the other ones were. Safety, I think they're going to address in the 1st round. Not with Jadarian Price, for those of you who watched last week's episode. I think they're going to get Dylan Thieneman or Emmanuel McNeil-Warren in that 1st round there. They have pick 18, so right after the Lions. But yeah, I think they grab a safety in the 1st round.
Yeah, man, I feel like the Ryan Kelly retirement, that threw me off too. I just definitely wasn't expecting that. They can definitely address that need. Unfortunately for them, by the time they pick, Jeremiah Love will be long gone. So yeah, they're not gonna have to worry about that at all.
Unless they
dude, Kyler Murray's there now too, man. I mean, are you confident with him? First off, do you think he's gonna win the starting quarterback role?
If there's a way to bet on it, I will be doing so, because there is no way that JJ McCarthy beats.
Throw out a line. Murray. What do you think the line would be?
Ooh, what I think it should be. I would say to be the starter, I would take Kyler Murray at minus 275. So almost 3-1 odds.
Yeah. I think that's pretty realistic. I think he's gonna win it, man. I think they're gonna be a fun team to watch, but unfortunately, I just don't think that he's gonna do anything when it comes to playoff time. Yes, I think they'll be able to get there, but I think if they want any chance of that, now that Ryan Kelly's out, I would be looking just the center route to protect Kyler, because I don't know, man. He kind of just freaks out when he gets pressure in front of him, and he just tries to run and make a play. And unfortunately for him, it never really has worked with the Cardinals. Although he had a couple good years there, but that was really it. Year so
when they were
but I would address exactly, and he was like an MVP candidate for most of that as well. So I would just address that offensive line if I was them. Protect them.
And one more thing on Kyler there is that I think if they want to keep Justin Jefferson, Kyler Murray has to start.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I don't think Justin Jefferson's going to put up with another year like he just had of just not getting the football. He's a number one receiver, arguably the number one or two receiver in the league. He needs to get the ball more. So JJ McCarthy, I don't think is capable of doing that. So yeah, if I'm
the
Vikings,
memes, man.
Yeah, if I'm the Vikings,
he was meme for a reason.
We gotta get Kyler in there.
Yeah.
Then we move on to the last team here in the NFC North, the Packers, which I've got their D line, the corner room, that interior offensive line, which just isn't going anywhere. That interior offensive line is by far and away the weakest part of that offensive line. D line, I can't remember the name of the guy they got from the Cowboys, the D tackle, but they need more. Then that corner room, dude. I mean, Valentine and Nixon just aren't a good enough duo in the NFL to be your starting number 1 and 2. So I think they desperately need that, and they don't have a first rounder this year. So their first pick is pick 52 in the second round.
You said pick 52?
Yes. So back half of the second round is when they first get to take a pick here.
Oh, man. I don't even know. Like, they just have... I feel like definitely corner. It's just I don't know how... I'm not familiar with how deep this corner class is this year, though.
It's pretty solid. You're going to get some good names here in rounds 2 and 3. But yeah, so that's it for the NFC North there. And then we're going to move on. So the 3 biggest needs for every team in the NFC South, we're going to start off with the Buccaneers. I personally have linebacker. Levante David's going to be retiring soon. Edge rusher, then you got corner, especially after losing Jamel Dean. It was already a pretty weak corner room. Maybe Benjamin Morrison could step up a little more. We get to the Saints, who outside of Chris Olave, they desperately need receiver help. Defensive line, specifically the interior defensive line, and then the corner room. Losing at Alante Taylor is going to be brutal for them because they had a pretty solid corner room prior to losing Alante Taylor. And then lastly, the Panthers, I think they need more linebacker help. Yes, they signed Devin Lloyd, fantastic signing, but they need more in addition to him. Wide receiver, like Xavier Legette, the experiment's over, in my opinion. He's not it. I know Jalen Coker's there, wide receiver 2, but I think they need wide receiver 3. And then they need a center after losing Cade Mays to free agency. And then we get to the Falcons. Again, wide receiver outside of Drake London, there's just not much there. They brought in a couple of vets like Zacchaeus and I can't remember who else off the top of my head, but just not guys that are a real number 2. I've got linebacker or possible edge rusher here. And I say possible edge rusher due to the situation going with James Pierce. We don't know what his playing career is going to look like here. And then corner. A.J. Terrell is great, but their corners were not good last year. How much of that was the scheme called by Raheem Morris? How much of that was the corners just not being great? We'll see. But at the very least, they should probably address it in the mid to late rounds.
Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely think... Out of all those teams, what team do you think would be one draft pick hit away from improving the most?
I'm gonna throw out a hot take here. I'm gonna go with the Carolina Panthers. I think they're winning the division again next year. Again,
where do the Saints finish?
Happened. I think the Saints finish last. But not in a bad sense, in a very competitive last. Like, I'm talking half a game out of third, half a game out of second. Like, I think this division is going to be very close. They're all going to be around 8 to 10 wins. Maybe 10's pushing it. But right around 8 to 9 wins. I think the Panthers could get to 10 wins. But yeah, I think it's just going to be a very competitive division this year. But I like the Panthers again, man.
No, I was definitely going to say, I feel like the past couple years I've kind of disrespected the Panthers, but I like what I've been seeing, man. And I really do think if they make a pick to kind of protect Bryce Young more, I really do agree with you. I think they could win the division this year.
Yeah, so we'll get into one by one again with the teams here. I'm going to move a little bit quicker this time around, just because we're not talking about my Bears. But with the Buccaneers, again, I said it a couple seconds ago. Levante David's old. He's going to be retiring. And Alex Anzalone is not your replacement. He's not the youngest guy either, but he's also just not nearly as good as Levante David. I think you need to go draft a linebacker here. There's some pretty good ones that are going to slip into the second round. Use your second round pick on them. Edge rusher, their pass rush is abysmal. I know Todd Bowles likes to blitz a lot, but you gotta get some more edge rushing help there. And then what's the last? So the corner here, yeah, that again, not a great corner room. Then you lose Jamel Dean to free agency. I can't remember where he went. I feel like it's a team in the AFC South. And then Benjamin Morrison. Obviously, I love him, Notre Dame guy, but he did not have a good rookie year. He didn't have that great of a rookie year. Yeah, I hope he can bounce back. Maybe he will. And he could fill the shoes of Jamel Dean, if not more than that. But they still need to address it in the draft here.
Yeah.
Next up, the Saints. Again, Chris Olave, man. That's all they got in that wide receiver room. They had Rashid Shaheed, and they let him go. So what do you do outside of that? I don't think Devon Vele is that good. They need to address wide receiver, and I think they're in a prime position to do so with pick 8. Will they do it? I don't know. Maybe they trade out. We'll see what their real plan is there. If Jeremiah, I was gonna say if Jeremiah Love's there, and I keep forgetting they have Travis Achan Jr.
Dude,
he's no longer Travis Etienne. He's no longer Etienne. Travis Achan Jr.
That's crazy. That's a weird one.
Yeah, I know, but hey, if it's what I'll respect it.
It's a man's name. It's a man's name.
I'll respect it. Panthers, like I said, man, Devin Lloyd is, in my opinion, probably the best signing of free agency, especially at the contract they got him at, but they need help next to him. And so I think if they address that, dude, that defense is going to be disgusting next year. Maybe another position they could get is another D tackle next to Derek Brown. Oh, dude, I was high on the Panthers last year. I had them in the playoffs. I had them winning their division in our hot takes episode. I think they're gonna win the division again, man. I really do. And then lastly, the Falcons, just like the Saints, outside of Drake London, there's just not much there at wide receiver. The James Pierce situation, I really don't know what's going to go on there. I can't think of the other rookie edge rusher they had. Why can't I not think of his name? He had an up and down year, though. And then corner, like I mentioned, they could use some corner help, man.
Yeah, I feel like, unfortunately for the Falcons, what they really need is a quarterback, and this is just not the draft to be doing that, at all, unfortunately for them. But I just don't think they're going to be.
What do you mean? I just don't think. By the way, they got Tua.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, you loved him going into the year, right?
Dude.
What'd you think? What'd you have their record?
Dude, is it bad that I think he's going to be good this year? I think Tua has a bounce back year. Hot take.
So you think Penix is just complete toast, huh?
Yeah. Take your grandpa knees and get out of here, buddy. You're not.
But I mean, look who we're also talking about, Tua,
with half a hip and scrambled eggs for a brain. But
yeah, I was about to say he's one hit away from call it quits.
Dude, he's exactly what Stefanski wants in a quarterback, and because of that, I think he's gonna work there. I mean, I'm talking Pro Bowl Tua. I think he's getting back to a Pro Bowl level. Not and the playoffs come around. I don't think it's gonna matter, but I really think he's gonna play well enough to get them to a Pro Bowl level.
Man, I mean, I like what you're saying, just because I've been really I'm starting to think some fantasy stuff again, man. To be honest, it's been too long.
I might be grabbing Tua.
Hasn't been. I don't know about that. I wasn't about to say that, but I was going to say I've been debating back and forth on who do you think would be the RB1 right now between, here we talked about both these teams, because this is who I think it's going to be between. I think it's going to be either Bijan or Jahmyr Gibbs, just because Tyler Algier is gone. Really? You think it's Gibbs? Now you got Monty gone with Pacheco, but he's kind of toast. So why Gibbs? Because I'll be honest, the people I've talked to about it, they've also said, because I think I'm more on the Bijan side.
I think the O-line's better in Detroit, assuming they replace Taylor Decker well. But I think the O-line's a little better. Yeah. I also trust the continuity of their offense together. I know different coordinators, but new coach. I don't know how Stefanski's going to use Bijan.
Yeah.
We saw what Gibbs did in practically this whole season in a solo role. Let's be honest. Monty got put to the bench. So
Yeah.
you put Pacheco in there instead, buddy. Pacheco's going to touch the ball
He's
3 times a game.
Yeah.
If he's lucky.
I agree.
If Gibbs allows it, and he'll touch the ball 3 times a game. And he'll like it too. He'll do it with a smile on his face.
Dude, I just think who is the Falcons' backup?
Backup running back.
Can you think off the top of your head? I don't think I could. They sign anybody?
I don't think they
That's
did.
what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. I just don't think it's just Bijan by himself now.
Obviously, they're going to bring in
can't
some
see
people.
I don't think they need to, and I hope they realize that Bijan is good enough where he can easily just handle the whole workload. But
we'll have to see, man. But we'll jump into the NFC East here. So the 3 biggest positional needs for each team in the NFC East. We're going to start off with the Eagles. I've got edge rusher. They lost Jalen Phillips, man. They got to get another edge rusher in there. Safety, the exciting whites are no more. Reed Blankenship is gone. Got to replace him. And then I have O-line / wide receiver. And I say this because Lane Johnson's probably gone after this year. Landon Dickerson almost left this year. And then wide receiver, I think A.J. Brown's gone. I wasn't too sure. I know they signed Hollywood Brown, but I really think A.J. Brown's gone, so maybe they do target a wide receiver here. The Giants, I've got interior offensive line, wide receiver, and then I really wasn't sure for a third spot. I could have gone linebacker, but they did bring in Tremaine Edmonds, so I went with D-line, and specifically a defensive tackle, because we all love Sexy Dexy, but he was not a good run defender last year. And I think bring in another big boy down there, a real run stopper to partner up next to him. I got the Commanders defensive line. They need it all besides one side of the edge rusher with Odafe Oweh. Desperately need running back help and wide receivers outside of Terry McLaurin. The Cowboys, I could have listed the entire defensive line, which I practically did here. I said DB / corner, defensive line, and linebackers. They could use it all. So we'll start off going one by one here with the Cowboys. I just want to, because I was just talking about them. I know they added Jalen Thompson. I know they added Kobe Durant. It's not enough, dude. That secondary was atrocious. No. The D-line, atrocious. That linebacker room, atrocious. How much of it was at Matt Eberflus? Probably a decent amount, but they also just didn't have the talent there. So I really think if they draft anything besides defense, I'm disappointed.
Yeah, no, that's kind of what I was gonna get at. Just how like their defense was like historically bad last year. I just don't think a couple pieces are going to fix this, and they definitely need to completely address their defense in this draft. I feel like it's the easiest game plan that you can have for a draft for this team.
And then speaking of, specifically defense, the Commanders, man, that D-line needs help. Their linebackers, I didn't include them in the top 3 needs. Their linebackers probably need help too. They have good run stuffers, but they don't have the best pass coverage guys. But specifically D-line needs a lot of help. I know Odafe Oweh is going to be great for them. I don't have my Odafe Oweh jersey on, but I think he's going to be great for them, but they need more outside of that. A running back, dude. I'm sorry, Bill. Bill's not it. We all got fooled by the Bill hype train last year. I don't think.
Hey, just wait till draft time, man. They'll have a new one. They'll have a new. This guy is better than Bill. A lot better than Bill.
If Jeremiah he's still there. If he's still there, dude.
Dude,
I mean, they've got pick 7. I've seen him going as early as 4 now. I know Schefter put out.
Dude, I don't think it's gonna be 4, bro. Dude, 4. That seems crazy.
Schefter, his post today said that he doesn't see him going to the Titans at 4, but the earliest he sees him going is at number 5. He said number 5 through 9 is the real sweepstakes for Jeremiah Love, who many consider the best player in the draft. So it's gonna get interesting, man.
Dude, I mean, yeah, I can definitely see that, because if a team definitely just wants to go best available, I mean, is there really anybody? Maybe Mendoza better than him? That's it.
I wouldn't even say Mendoza's better than him.
And I was gonna say you can argue that. So, I mean, yeah, I could definitely. I don't know. I would say dream scenario, and I really do hope he falls to these Commanders, man. That would be a beautiful fit for that offense. For fantasy, do you know how high he would go if that
Oh,
was the
dude,
case?
please.
Dude, that would be insane.
I'm
I'm
gonna be
taking him
getting
the
him in
first
some of my
pick in our
dynasties.
dynasty pick.
Yeah,
We got a
dude.
startup. Oh, dude, come on.
I can't wait.
That's gonna
I
be
can't
awesome.
wait.
That's gonna be awesome.
Before I get into the rest of the list, speaking of fantasy, guys, we do want to do a viewer fantasy league redraft this year, so make sure you guys tune in for that. But the Giants and the Eagles, both teams need receiver help, in my opinion. Like I said, with the AJ Brown situation, what do you think the Giants do here in the first round? Pick number 5. I know we've said
Ooh.
Caleb Downs. We've said you know, mainly Caleb Downs. I don't remember what we did last time, but there's a lot of
I think it was Sonny.
Sonny Styles.
Might have been Sonny.
And
I think I'm still gonna take the Sonny route, man. I think
Tremaine
Caleb
Edmonds?
is off the picture, dude. Yeah, I think that can just be a really good pairing. I think Caleb Downs' injury thing is gonna scare him off at 5.
Yeah, I could see it. I no Jeremiah Love shout.
I honestly think all the running back stuff we're hearing out of there is all smoke. I just don't. I really don't understand why they think they need one. Between Scadaboo, when you have Tracy, while Scadaboo gets healthy, I don't. I just think that's kind of a waste of a pick that high. I just don't think that's a big need for them.
I don't know, man. So I agree. It's not their biggest need, but if they're able to improve the O line, because they've got a decent O-line, could be better. You put Jeremiah Love with Jackson Dart, Malik Neighbors, Isaiah Likely, Theo Johnson. That offense is terrifying. And for that reason alone,
and
I can understand
man.
it.
Maybe it's
and
the fantasy
Scadaboo.
in me speaking. It's just
Oh.
I just don't. I would
really
wish
for fantasy,
dude. Yeah. I really wish that just does not happen. I just can't. I don't know. Especially if Sonny Styles is still there, man. I think that's just the player he is, and it just fits a bigger need, I think.
And well, yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to see. We got mock draft Monday coming up. See which direction we go here. And then last team in the NFC East, the Eagles. Like I said, losing Jalen Phillips sucks. I know they have Nolan Smith, who's pretty solid. They've got Jalix Hunt. I'm a big fan of Jalix Hunt. But I think they could still still need to address the edge rusher position, safety, and then O-line and receiver. If I was being 100% serious, the top positional, if you want to call it that, need would be head coach. But that's not an option here. So
yeah.
All right, we'll jump into the last one here for the NFC. So the 3 biggest positional needs for the NFC West, starting off with the 49ers, have got defensive line, wide receiver, and their interior offensive line. The Cardinals, quarterback, Minshew and Brissett are not the combo you want in 2026. Offensive line, specifically the right tackle position, and then linebackers. The Rams, honestly, this was the hardest one out of every team in the NFC for me because they don't really desperately need anything. So I thought more luxury. Another wide receiver, offensive tackle, and linebacker. And then lastly, the Seahawks, they need a running back with the loss of K9, offensive guards, and safeties with the loss of Kobe Bryant.
Yeah. Dude, what do you think the Rams do, man? Because
I don't know,
I
man.
feel like we've had a different pick for them in every single mock draft this year.
Well, the whole thing we were doing the whole time was corner, but now they have Jalen Watson and Trent McDuffie. They don't need corner anymore. So
no.
That's why I
now
went
we're hearing
wide receiver.
AJ Brown buzz too. You hear that?
So yes, but I think he goes to the Patriots. But I do think they draft another wide receiver because one, Devontae's getting old, but he's still obviously amazing. So for now, this guy will be wide receiver 3. And then he'll be ready to take over immediately. The Rams are so good as of late with McVay at grooming that next position, to like that next guy to be ready. So that way there's not as much of a gap between waiting for them to be ready and they're just ready to plug and play as soon as one guy's done. And they're so good at drafting, not even just drafting because they don't draft a lot, but just building their team that way. So yeah, I think they go with the luxury picks.
Man, that can be Okay, and then the Cardinals. So I have some teams in mind that I feel like needed a quarterback, but I didn't really put it down as a need just because I feel like this is not the draft to really address it. Do you think they would take a chance
So
with a drafting a
yes,
quarterback?
yes, but not
Which
in the
one?
first round. Again, I've been screaming this since the beginning of this year, and I know he had a bit of a down year, but all the tools are still there, man. Give me second round, maybe third round if he's there. Maybe pull the trigger in the second round. Garrett Nussmeier, man. I'm sorry, he's the perfect project quarterback. All the tools are there. He's looked fantastic. He's had some rough times, but I think the tools are there. And in a quarterback class that's their QBs are going to fall in this class because outside of Mendoza, it's a little shaky. Ty Simpson might go in the back end of the first round, but I think as the Cardinals, you why not take the chance? You use a second or third on a guy like a Nussmeier. I mean, you could like a Carson Beck. I don't like Carson Beck, but
Yeah.
as an example, why not take the chance on those guys? You're not going to be competitive this year, more than likely, I should say. You never know. But why not take a chance on a Nussmeier? Let him sit behind Brissett. Maybe see if he competes. Maybe he just steals the job behind Brissett and Minshew. But at the very least, let him sit behind two veterans in the league and learn and hone his craft a little more. That's what I would do if I was Arizona.
Do you remember it was one of our first episodes. We had a discussion, and you actually said that this is before we knew Daniel Jones was going to be the guy until he got injured. But that was one of the teams that you said you would want the Colts to take for this draft.
Dude, I still think. I mean, I don't think it'd be a bad situation to go to Colts.
We got
Steichen's
we got
an
Riley
amazing
Leonard. We got
offensive
Riley
mind.
Leonard. We don't
I
need him.
mean, I love Riley, but
we're going with Leonard.
okay. Hey, I'm fine. I love my Notre Dame guys. I always wish them the best in the league.
True. Hey, maybe. I mean, hey, we'll see if Daniel Jones is ready. Anthony Richardson isn't going to be there. Maybe he gets a shot.
Maybe. Do you think Richardson ends up in the Rams or in the Cardinals?
The Cardinals could be kind of cool, I think.
I think it would be.
I could
funny
definitely see the
after-
Rams though.
I think it'd be funny if he went to the Cardinals after letting go of Kyler. You just get bigger Kyler,
Yeah. Just more injury prone.
Yeah, just more injury prone. But yeah, now we'll head on to your side there. So Harry did all the AFC teams. So let's hear what you got.
All right, let's get it. So the three biggest needs for these AFC teams. We'll start off first in the AFC West. We got the Las Vegas Raiders. I feel like this one's easy. Obviously, we know the obvious number one pick. So Fernando Mendoza, they need a quarterback. He'll be that pick. And two other ones other than that, I have left guard, defensive tackle. Then we go to the Chargers. I think they really address their line and their edge. So I have an edge rusher, left guard, and a right guard. We go to the Kansas City Chiefs. This one, I think they can go a couple different ways. There can be some fun players that can fall to their pick. Maybe a Downs. We'll see if he could fall down there. But as of right now, I have an edge, a wide receiver, and a quarterback. And the last team for the AFC West is the Denver Broncos. And I have them going a tackle, a linebacker, and a defensive end. I did have receiver, but now we just heard, man, Jalen Waddle is now the new wide receiver of this Denver Broncos team, man. What do you think about the Broncos now that they addressed their wide receiver position?
So real quick, before we get to the Broncos, I just want to make sure I heard you correctly with the Chiefs. Did you say quarterback?
Corner.
Okay.
CB.
I pulled
CB.
off the.
Oh,
I was like,
all
first
right.
of all,
I'm happy you said it though. Corner.
First of all,
not
they have
quarterback.
Patrick Mahomes,
Yeah.
but second of all,
Yeah.
they don't even need Patrick Mahomes anymore. They have
Yeah.
Justin Fields, baby.
Oh my.
Come
Dude,
on.
how is that not the first thing we talked about?
That's my boy. I got a
Hey,
New
great
Jersey I gotta
for
get.
him though. Just to sit back there, just learn. I mean, perfect for him. But yeah, I'm happy you said that. Not quarterback. Patrick Mahomes is still on this team. They just traded their corner. I think that's going to be a big need for them. Maybe Delane's still there at their pick. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But I mean, what do you what do you take out of these? I feel like the Raiders one is easy. I mean, we know they need quarterback. We know they need a line. That should be the main two things they heavily go for in that draft. They had arguably, I mean, personally, I think it's one of the best free agency signings. Just you brought in Tyler Linderbaum, obviously that was huge. Kwity Paye got himself a deal. Yes. He got paid real nice. Nakobe Dean you bring in, Quay Walker you bring in. I mean, dude, they re-signed Eric Stokes. I don't know, man. They had a pretty. Was I a year too early? Too early?
Never wrong, just early.
But I mean, what do you think? What are you taking from some of these teams, like the Raiders, the Chiefs? What are you taking?
So Raiders, like you said, dude, I think you nailed it. Same thing with the Chargers. Again, think you nailed it. Offensive line, edge rushers, they need the help there. The Chiefs, now that I clarified it's corner, I fully 100% agree. And they've is it
the Chiefs going Ty Veach? Simpson, by the way. I don't know.
Veach, I think, is the GM. Might be wrong, but their GM, he's made it known that he does not pay corners. This isn't the first time; it won't be the last time. Yeah. He trusts his ability to draft, and so far, it's paid off. So I fully expect them to take a corner in the first round, unless. Well, never mind. Again, dude, why do I keep forgetting where running back signed? Why is that the only position I can't remember where they're signing? Yeah. So
come on.
Yeah, I 100% think they take a corner at pick 9. And Broncos, dude, I like these two. Offensive tackle, linebacker, DN, and like you said, Jalen Waddle, no longer on the Dolphins.
Crazy.
They gave up a lot more than I thought they would.
Dude,
I thought that was a good trade.
That's a lot for. Okay, like I'm a fantasy guy, man, and all I see is this guy. He leaves the field, I feel like, every single game, but at the end of the day he is coming back. But that was a lot for a player that gets hurt, I feel like, constantly during the year. Dude, I don't know, but that's huge for that team, man. That is going to be what. Now they got Jalen Waddle, you got Cortland Sutton as your 2, Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims. That's pretty nasty, man. That's not bad at all,
dude. Fantastic. Like I think the Broncos have a chance to go back to the conference title game next year. I thought they would make the Super Bowl, and let's be honest, they probably would have if Bo Nix was healthy.
Yeah.
I think they have a chance to do it again. I really do. I think they're definitely winning that division.
We need to have a quick Bo Nix conversation real quick. I was catching heat, man, for saying,
dude,
Daniel Jones. Is that crazy?
I think it's ridiculous.
Why? What? Where?
I think Bo Nix is a lot better than Daniel Jones.
Dude, let me.
I think it might be your Colts bias talking.
Dude, I just feel like, I don't know, man. I just feel like you just look at these games, they're just not that much different at all, man.
But I think what Bo Nix is, one, it's year 2. And he just threw for practically 4,000 yards. But the clutch gene, dude. Some guys have it, some don't. Bo Nix has it. Look at the amount of fourth quarter comebacks they had. And again, year 2, I think if I'm building a team and I'm picking my QB and it's between Bo Nix and it's between Daniel Jones, I'm going Bo Nix.
Okay. Well, one sec. Don't. When you word it like that, when you say it like that, if I'm starting a team, I'm picking Bo Nix. But as for right now, as year 2 Bo Nix, I don't think him and Daniel Jones are that far off where I'm getting stuff for it.
I think you were catching a lot of flack for
it. Which I don't care. It's just I just don't personally. I don't think it was that crazy. Like, I was shocked that it got that much for it. That's all I was kind of saying. But for the future, 100% I agree. But Bo Nix would 100% want to be the quarterback that I would pick. But,
definitely.
But I just had to ask, man. I just had to see if I was just tripping, to be honest. But here, we'll get into let's talk about some AFC East teams. So we'll start first, the Jets. This one was easily I could have put quarterback, but I just don't think there's the quarterback quality in this draft for them to address it. So I went with a guard, defensive tackle, and an edge. If then we go down Miami Dolphins, I think they need an edge, a corner, and now with Waddle gone, I think they need a receiver, man. Jalen Tolbert cannot be your wide receiver one there. And then we'll go to the Buffalo Bills. They need, I've been saying it. I think they need a wide receiver. I know they got DJ Moore. I don't think DJ Moore is the player that they are going to be expecting anymore. I think a second for him was kind of crazy to begin with, but I think they also addressed the linebacker position and possibly another edge. And then the Patriots. Right now, as of this recording, AJ Brown is still on the Eagles, so I think their number one need has to be a receiver, a linebacker, and then maybe you get a left tackle in there to help Drake May out. But I mean, man, I feel like on all these teams, what do you think? You're a Bears fan, man. A second for DJ Moore.
What did you finesse them?
Dude,
that was a steal, dude. Especially after I don't know, man. Just seeing what some of these other trades have been, I think DJ Moore for a second, man. Let Poles cook, man. Let
Fleece, to be honest.
Dude, he's been cooking, man. He had a slow start. You know who he is? I saw someone say it. He's the Josh Allen of GMs. He was shaky, but he showed flashes in the beginning. But now it's been banger after banger after banger move. He knows what he's doing. Yeah. Even bringing Jack Sanborn back, dude. Love that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just like, I don't know. I thought that was very, very generous for the Bills to give up. I just don't think that's going to be enough. I still think if they can, you get some help because this wide receiver, I mean, it's really it's a good wide receiver draft class this year. So you take advantage of that. You draft a wide receiver for the future. And honestly, I think that should be their number one thing. And then maybe that's when you start addressing more of the defensive side of the ball for the Bills.
Definitely. Yeah, like you said with the Patriots as well, wide receiver. If they don't get AJ Brown, they need to draft a receiver. Yeah.
Which one would you like there?
Oh, let's see. So the back half, I could see, Casey Conception. I think.
What do you think about Denzel?
Denzel Boston. I think he'd be good over there. And then what's the I can't think of his name. I'm trying to pull it up here.
Omar Cooper.
Yep. That's who it was. Indiana wide receiver. I'd like any of those three guys for him. I think that's fantastic picks for the Patriots.
Yeah. And then we can go to another team. I mean, this team needed a lot of wide receiver help. The Dolphins, I also have them with a wide receiver now with Waddle gone. That is a big need, but they also have a really big need at corner too. And the range that there'll be a couple guys there that they can consider drafting there. And then last but not least, a team that honestly, this one I easily could have put a wide receiver in here too, because Garrett Wilson needs some help. But I think they maybe try to go guard if they could, maybe later in the draft. DT, there's a lot of good ones in this draft, and another edge, man, which they'll definitely be able to take care of. You have Geno Smith there now. Man, that sucks for those Jets. I would hate to be a Jets fan. He makes his return. But I mean, where would you go if you were the Jets here?
So I had them going for a receiver last time around, but like you said, dude, they'd need to go so many different directions. I don't think there's a wrong choice to make. They know, and everyone knows they're not competing this year. They're probably tanking again for next year. Yeah, man. Like I said, I'd hate to be a Jets fan, but I think Jets fans already know, and they no longer get their hopes up because of this. So.
Yeah. No, I agree. I just want to see the Jets hit on some draft picks. That would be kind of cool too. But unfortunately, they really don't. Yeah, but let's get into another division here. So the three biggest needs for the AFC North. We'll start off with the Baltimore Ravens here. I have wide receiver, center, and CB. I think they could desperately need and could use another wide receiver there. And then we can go to the Steelers. The Steelers, they can possibly, if you want to say a late quarterback, I feel like the Steelers are the only option in that first. But I think the chance of that could be still kind of small. But if not quarterback, I think you could go left guard, free safety, either or. I think those are both very, very big needs for them. We go to the Cleveland Browns. They can go a lot of different directions here in this first round, but I think they address the wide receiver position, left tackle, and cornerback. And last but not least, the Bengals. I think you go right guard to help Joe Burrow out, or you get a CB or a linebacker, because potentially, if Downs can fall there, any of those corners can be there. Sonny Styles, that would need to be a big. You would need the Giants to take a running back with number 5 for if you want any chance of that. But man, I mean, I feel like this division needs a lot of help, especially these Bengals. They're gonna need to hit on a couple of these draft picks because their defense desperately needs the help. And now Hendrickson is not here anymore.
You want another hot take?
What do you think?
If the Bengals are able to draft Caleb Downs, they will win the AFC North next year. I think him alone will be enough to save that defense and make them maybe a top 20 unit instead of bottom 32. And honestly, top 20 is all they need to win that division. Like, that offense. All right,
I'm putting you on the spot.
So good.
Give me 1 to 4 in that division then.
Okay. So we still don't know if Aaron Rodgers is going back.
Let's assume he comes back, because personally, I think it's either going to be him or Kirk Cousins. So assume it's an old washed quarterback.
Okay, so we're going to go Bengals first, then the Ravens. Close battle between the two. Oh, do I do it?
Dude, I was thinking that too. I wanted to see what you were going with next.
I think if I'm a Steelers fan, I would want to be last. Dude, they need to tank because otherwise they're just going to be mid again. And for that reason, I'm going Browns 3rd, Steelers 4th. Hot take. It'll change by the time the season comes around.
Now this is probably be the most we talk about the Browns non-draft talk. I have a question for you. I was watching the Fantasy Footballers, I think it was, and they said Deshaun Watson comes back this year. He's going to be playing football. Who wins that quarterback competition between Shedeur and Deshaun Watson?
Shedeur.
And I'm dead serious. Who do you think takes that?
So, I think Shedeur, but on the odd chance that it's 2018 level Deshaun Watson, you know, like, you couldn't give it to Shedeur. But I think that Deshaun Watson is so far in the rearview mirror that it's gonna.
You don't think he's better than Shedeur though?
Current Deshaun Watson, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I'll be honest. I unfortunately, I think it might be the end of the road for Pro Bowl Shedeur if Watson does come back. I just don't think it's going to take that much to beat him. They already don't like him, so.
This is true.
I don't know. You know, like, I don't know, but I really do think. I think they. If I was them, I'm taking a wide receiver. If Carnell Tate's there, man, why not? Get yourself. He'll be your wide receiver 1. I think you take that one pretty easily. The Ravens, we'll go real quick over these. You just lost Tyler Linderbaum. You need to fill that position. Desperately need wide receiver help. Like I said, this is the draft to do it. Then if you look at the Steelers, like we said, this can possibly be, I mean, what do you think? Tell me if you agree. I think if there's any other team to possibly take a quarterback in the first, it would be Ty Simpson to the Steelers.
So I agree, but the only other team that I see is the again, dude, why do I just keep forgetting all the recent events? I was gonna say the Rams, but they're not using pick 13 on a quarterback. If they still had pick 29, I could have seen them taking Ty Simpson there, but not at pick 13. So I think the Steelers are it.
Yeah, and then if they don't do that, I think I can see them going a safety or a left guard. I mean, it never hurts to help that O-line. But we'll get into this last division here, AFC South. So, last but not least, we'll start with the Indianapolis Colts. Man, do we need a lot of help, but I really, really do hope we take a linebacker, hopefully another edge rusher, and desperately can use a right tackle. I think you look at Houston, they desperately need more O-line. I think they can get a left guard, a center, maybe a linebacker in there. You look at the Titans, man, they need a running back, and that is, like we were saying, that is a possibility for Jeremiah Love. I think that can be an option there. If not, you go DN or linebacker. And last but not least, the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think you go either linebacker, safety, or defensive tackle there. So let's talk. I want to hear your opinion on, out of all these teams, unfortunately it cannot be my Colts. We don't have a first round pick. So out of those three, who do you think is one pick away from making the biggest jump?
It's got to be the Texans. They're one fantastic alignment away, I think, and there's a couple guys they can go with there at pick 28, but I think it does have to be offensive line, and if they make the right choice, and that's a hard thing to do, let's be honest.
Yeah.
If they do, I think they win the division next year. I know it's not what you want to hear, but
yeah, unfortunately not. I mean, dude, I really do think, unfortunately, I think the Titans can be pretty nasty if they they hit on this right pick here. And they got, like, you can do so much at 4, man. They are in such a good spot because the guys that are still going to be around them fit their needs perfectly. And like we were saying, that can be a potential first landing spot for Jeremiah Love. And if they do that, what's your current take on these Titans, man? Because I know we talked about Cam Ward a little bit. He ended the year 10 touchdowns and 1 interception, and that was with me and you as his starting wide receivers. So I don't know.
I love Cam Ward.
I like him.
I love Cam Ward. I think if they don't take Jeremiah Love, I think there's a good chance we see them trade out here. I think it's possible we see them trade out, maybe to, if one of the teams that do want Jeremiah Love want to move up or want, a Ruben Bain, David Bailey, whoever's the remaining edge rusher there. I could see them moving back towards the back half of the top 10, gaining some extra picks to address other needs. If not, I think they grab Jeremiah Love, man. I think it happens.
Yeah, no, that would be, oh man, that'd be a good fantasy one too. That would be very, very fun. And let's talk real quick. These Jaguars, personally, I think they go linebacker, but what route do you think they go there?
Yeah, linebacker. After losing Devin Lloyd, you got to replace that. They have, what pick do they have this year? Well, they don't have a first rounder this year because they gave it to the Browns. So
for Travis
they're going to have
Hunter.
to get it in the second. Yeah, they're going to have to get him in the second round. And I think, again, like I said earlier, there's some good linebackers to grab in the second round. I think it's definitely doable. But yeah, they have to go linebacker.
Yeah, and I was going to add on to that. I feel like since they do have that second, I feel like all these mock drafts that we've been doing, which if you haven't seen, definitely check them out, man. They've been really entertaining. It's been a great time, and we're going to keep getting more of them out. It's going to be a weekly thing. So, but at the end of the first, I always see we have so many linebackers that are always on the top of that board. So that could be perfect for those Jaguars. Even, I can't remember how high their second round pick is, but even if they have to trade up a little bit, I'm sure they'll be willing to, because there's a lot of good linebackers that will be there to start that second round. Last but not least, we got my Colts. Man, like I said, desperately need linebacker help. Desperately need edge. Desperately need right tackle. You know who Jalen Travis is?
I do not know.
Yeah, that's our right tackle right now. I think we only have a couple DNs. Yeah, exactly. I think we only have a couple DNs on the roster. These are guys that, the Latu and JT that we've taken the last couple years. That is it. I mean, we definitely need edge. Linebacker is honestly atrocious. All of them left in the free agency. We literally have... Do you know who Austin Ajake? You ever hear that one?
Nope. And proving your point again.
Jalen Carlisle's.
Nope. Keep them coming.
That's all we have on the roster.
Nope.
So, yeah. As you can see, definitely some big needs. So, I mean, I think if Ballard has a brain, very, very obvious. You address those 3 positions. But for fun, if I had to pick another one to throw in here, wide receiver, which I want to hear your take on Josh Downs, because this is a guy, I mean, I feel like he's been very, very just not talked about recently. Michael Pittman's on the Steelers. Alec Pierce just got paid. He's our wide receiver 1. But I mean, it's really just Alec Pierce, Josh Downs, and a big gap. What do you think of Josh Downs this year?
I think he's one of the better slot receivers in the league.
Yeah.
I just think it's a matter of getting him the ball, because I didn't watch every single Colts game, but when I would watch the Colts, I feel like he gets open quite a lot, and sometimes he just didn't get the ball. Obviously, a lot of that was without Daniel Jones, but I think Josh Downs is a very, very talented player.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And I would say that was it, man. That was all the needs for the AFC and NFC teams. If you had to say one thing, Ryan Poles, to address on your Bears team, what is it?
It's defensive line. You can get away with okay safeties. You can't get away with okay D line.
Yeah, that's a good one. Hopefully he helps you out there.
Dude, I hope so. But hey, before we close out here, as always, guys, just a reminder: Poggers, use code TGN for 10% off all items. Poggers is the hydration and energy drink mix made for gamers, creators, anyone who plays life at full speed. 0 sugar, all flavor, no crash. So make sure you use our code down below. Code TGN, links in the description. 10% off of all items. And as always, Harry, we're bringing it back next week. NFL hot takes. We're approaching the draft, so leave those hot takes down below for the off season. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, wherever you're watching this video, leave those hot takes down below. Harry, any last remarks here?
If you like mock drafts, you're gonna be seeing them weekly. Leave some likes, sub. I mean, man, it's draft season, man. We're finally here.
All right, we'll see you guys next time.